started. Hey everybody, this is Layla here.
Hi.
Layla helped me out with today's video by doing some analysis of the song Stairway to Heaven. She's not going to stay for this, but I'm going to kind of talk about what we talked about, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you can go now.
Okay.
Okay. See you, baby. So today's, so I want to talk about what would happen. This is one of my things I like to do. What would happen if Stairway to Heaven came out today? Okay. Would it be a hit or would it be relegated to SoundCloud or Bandcamp? Right? Kind of an interesting thought experiment. And so I had Layla listen to it with me. So it's really interesting when you listen with someone else. You kind of, even though I've heard the song a million times, you hear it through the other person's ears, in a sense, right? And I would do that as a producer. I would sit there, if I was playing somebody a song for the first time that we had just finished, we'd sit there and we'd listen, and I always realized things about the song that never occurred to me, like, oh my God, there's too long of a pause there or something, or boy, that doesn't really feel good in that spot. That guitar part doesn't sound right, or that keyboard, oh boy, that's a terrible sound, whatever, or wow, that's really cool. So Layla is sitting down and listening to it, and I basically took notes on what she said about the song, and this is really interesting, right? And I'm going to play some of the song of me playing it, otherwise it'll get blocked, but I did some mock-ups of some certain sections here. So, okay, what are some of the things about Stairway to Heaven? Well, first of all, Stairway to Heaven is 8 minutes and 2 seconds long, but you don't know that when you hear the song if you're hearing it for the first time. So imagine, Led Zeppelin never existed. There's a new band out that comes out with Stairway to Heaven, okay? Well, one of the things that she says is, well, it starts with guitar, but it doesn't just start with guitar. It starts with a really kind of odd guitar part. Wasn't odd back at the time. Okay, that uses this line cliche. Has a very long intro. First time through, right? Does that. But the second time through, as Layla said, it has flutes. No songs have flutes, but it's actually not flutes. It's actually a recorder. So I did a little mock-up of this. I'm going to attempt to play along with it here. I did a mock-up of that part. Let's see if I can do it here. Okay, this is a really weird part. It's a 4-part recorder orchestration that John Paul Jones played. Let me just play it again, but just listen. These is what what they play, right? It has that line cliche. And then sorry that I butchered it the first time. That is really weird, right? It sounds like some medieval folk tune. Now, there's nothing that in contemporary rock music, pop music, anything. I mean, Stairway to Heaven is one of the biggest songs ever in the history of rock music, in the history of music, really. Stairway to Heaven has been played how many millions and millions and millions of times? An 8-minute, 2-second song, okay? So the song begins with all this part. Then you got the whole opening thing. It goes through that whole part. It does the when it gets to the verse, it hits the it's 52 seconds or 53 seconds till the first word happens in the song. Okay, let me talk about the lyrics here for a second. Okay, by the way, the discount code for today's live stream, this is my Valentine's Day sale. I brought back my Beato book bundle, which is my 700-page PDF, which I haven't sold here in, oh geez, probably since before Christmas. So 60% off that. It's RB214 is the discount code for that. And my ear training course, 40% off, RB214, and my quick lessons guitar course, RB214. And by the way, watch me on my YouTube shorts. You should check out shorts if you don't watch shorts. Anyways, what is this song about? There's a lady who's sure all the glitters is gold and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. Ooh, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure because you know sometimes words have two meanings. And then you get into these, more fantasy lyrics here. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. Ooh, makes me wonder. Okay, so as I'm thinking about this song, I was talking with Billy about it. The chorus of the song is kind of this. That ooh makes me wonder is really the only part that repeats, which is kind of an odd chorus, right? So there's really no chorus to the song. And how many times does Robert Plant actually sings the title, Stairway to Heaven? Well, he says it at the very end of the song, and he says it right at the beginning of the song. Okay, she's buying a stairway to heaven. So the song really doesn't have a chorus. It has a 52-second intro. It has flutes, as Layla says, or recorder. Layla says it's a sad song. Now, there are sad songs that are out there, but there's really very few ballads that become big songs nowadays. Ballads were kind of a thing. I guess that Billy, who were you saying had a ballad that... Adele had a ballad that we did recently. Adele's had ballads. Billie Eilish has ballads, but very few people. There are very few ballads that are out today. Ballad is kind of a thing of the ancient past. Another thing, Layla says there's no auto-tune, right? Well, there's blues singing and things like that, so there is no auto-tune on it. And that is something out of the norm. You very rarely hear any type of blues inflections, blues singing, and you rarely hear it. But you do hear it in Adele, and Adele does really, really well. So there is no auto-tune. It's a slow song that actually varies in tempo. One of the things when Jimmy Page talks about writing the song is that he wanted a song that sped up through the ending. And the song from the beginning to the end is radically different. We'll talk about the ending here in a minute. But there are multiple sections. So you have the intro section that goes on, that the beginning vocals are on. And then that happens, you have the instrumental... has that medieval flair to it, and then it goes to the makes me wonder, and then it gets into the actual verse structure that goes on and on. There's multiple verses, but it's actually done on a 12 string. This is kind of where the second instruments come in, the 12 string and the electric piano. The electric piano comes in on the ooh makes me wonder part. And that's John Paul Jones. I think he's playing at Rhodes, and which is kind of a weird thing, right? So the bass part in the song is the left hand of the Rhodes up until that part. Okay. Then Jimmy Page brings in a 12 string, but it's not his double neck 12 string as I discussed when I made my video with Phil X and Eric Johnson on the what if, you know, it was a different solo, and I imitated what I thought Peter Frampton would play, and Phil X imitated what he thought Eddie Van Halen would play, and that video came out the day before Eddie passed away, and that was one of my favorite videos that I've done. I've talked about that a lot on here. It's a video I'm really, really proud of. I'm going to play a little bit of that, the breakdown section. But the 12 string, when that enters, right? Wow, this is hard play. Okay, that's the verse structure there. That just repeats over and over, and it alternates with the... That keeps going on, and I'm trying to think of how many verses there are, because there are a lot of verses here. There's, he says, let's see here. I just lost the lyrics here. Verse 2, verse 3, and it's whispered as soon if we all call the tune. The verse 4, if there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. A totally weird lyric, which is great. Your head is humming, verse 5. Your head is humming and it won't go in case you don't know. The piper's calling you to join him. These are completely weird, cool lyrics. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blowing? Did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind? Okay. That is about 6 minutes into the song is the 5th verse. Okay. 5 verses. I mean, it's insane. And then where do we go? The drums enter before that. Really, I think on the verse before that, the drums enter. I can't play the song here, but I can play my mock-up because we go into the breakdown section. The breakdown, I call it kind of the fanfare section of the song. And for those of you that watch my channel or that haven't watched my channel, so I'm going to pull up this video. This video is from a couple years ago, and this is me doing the breakdown of section of Stairway to Heaven and the solo. So I'm going to play it here. Check it out. That fanfare part there is one of the greatest parts ever in rock music, right? Just an amazing part. It's so inspirational when it comes up there. So exciting to hear, right? And it's unlike anything that's happened in the song before. But it's kind of the bridge, right? After 5 verses, we kind of have a bridge into the guitar solo. And Layla says, she's like, she says, there's no drums until that, verse 4 or so. And she says, well, there's really only 2 instruments in the whole beginning part, right? And she said that that the song changes too much and speeds up. And then she's like, and the song has a guitar solo. And as the guitar solo is playing, she says, the guitar has a long guitar solo. The song has a 1-minute-long guitar solo. And it never occurred to me how long the guitar solo was until I made that video. And I remember when I sent the backing track that I created to Phil X and to Eric Johnson, we were both saying, wow, that's a long time to play a solo, you know? So I'll play you my solo here. Let me go back to this. This is my solo part. mid-70s do you feel like we do sound? And after
This is
playing
me
a bunch of
imitating
Frampton
Peter
solos, I thought, okay, I think I can come up with something that sounds like what he would have played. Here's my solo. That there was my friend Phil X, who came on and did the Eddie Van Halen style solo right after I did, and he did a really incredibly yeah he did a really incredibly great job. And just by chance, I mean, we worked on the video for a while, and by chance Eddie passed away the day after I released that video. I can't even tell you how that felt. That was really unbelievable, and sad, and it turned out to be a really cool tribute, I think, unknowing tribute to it. Think of Stairway to Heaven. So anyways, it's got that long guitar solo, and as we wind on down the road, that whole ending section is a coda, right? And that goes on for another minute and a half or so. And you just would never hear anything like that. This is really art. This is art. And people today, not all, but could anyone even understand a song like this? Where would a song like this even go? No major label would ever put out a song like this as a single. As a matter of fact, Zeppelin didn't even put this out as a single. This became a massive radio hit. It was off their fourth record in 1971. This has happened when I was a kid. I mean, this is, when I was before I began guitar, this was a hit. I began guitar in about 1975 or so. But it was all over the radio by then. I mean, it was a standard of AOR rock music. It was a standard. It's still a standard on the radio of classic rock. It's a staple. It's one of the most played songs of all time. One of the most played rock songs. One of the greatest rock songs. But it is art. And is there really any place in popular music for art? And this is, I think, a very interesting, valid question. Is there a place for this kind of art, for these medieval, this medieval sound, this journey to this place, this has the fantasy kind of vibes to it. It's like folk music. It's like English folk music. It reminds me of the whole intro part's kind of like if John Dowland played progressions with line cliches like that. That's what it would have sounded like. John Dowland was a lute player, for those of you that don't know, or was a songwriter, and he was a songwriter back in the 1500s, I believe. Sting has a John Dowland record with it that's all lute music that he put out a few years ago. Anyways, I just need to do some business here again, since I don't have a sponsor ever on my channel. My discount code is, my Valentine's Day sale is RB214. If you want to support the channel, buy one of my educational products. My Beato book bundle is the 700-page PDF is for sale, 60% off. And the ear training course, my Beato ear training course, and my quick lessons Beato ear training course has video. It's a video course along with a ear training program, right? And it's very involved. And this is how you can learn to figure out songs like I do, if you practice a lot. And then my quick lessons guitar course is a 5-hour course based on my quick lessons. I call it nonlinear learning, where I take ideas like I do on my YouTube shorts, and I take these quick lessons, all the most popular ones, and I break them down into what I'm doing on them. So these incredibly interesting lyrics, beautiful orchestration of the guitars, this incredible, the drum part in Stairway to Heaven, the ending drum part is phenomenal. I mean, the drum part during the solos, I mean, I don't really know a rock song that has a drum part like the ending of Stairway to Heaven. That's something that never, people copied Bonham a lot, but they never copied that groove. That was a really unique part. I remember when I called Jack Jones to come over and play on that. I was like, Jack, I want you to learn the Bonham drum part, note for note, all the fills exactly like they were for that guitar solo section. And Jack was like, he was like, man, I've listened to Stairway to Heaven so many times, I never honestly thought about that part. Let me just play that one more time there. The thing. I'm gonna go back to where when we were creating the rhythm track, so you can see Jack's drumming on this part, because it has such interesting fills. Check it out again. So you guys know, I mean, that whole part there about it has that the quads that happen at the end, and then the whole ending part after that is even more intense and more complicated, right? It's absolutely a brilliant drum part, and unlike anything else. I mean, very, very intense thing. So, if Stairway to Heaven came out today and there was no Led Zeppelin before this, I mean, I don't see it doing anything, right? I look at Layla's, what she said. Well, she's like, people don't use acoustic guitar. They do, but she says it's slow. I was just writing down notes from her. Nobody uses flutes. It's a sad song. It has no auto-tune. These are things that are against it. It has no drums, obviously, until later on. Then she's like, it only uses 2 instruments. People don't understand the lyrics. It's too long. Then she's like, it changes too much. Then she says, it speeds up. And then it has a guitar solo. A long guitar solo. And then my wife walks in and she says, what are you doing? I said, we're talking about, having Layla explain to me why Led Zeppelin, if this song would work today. And she says, well, the answer is no. I said, why? She says, because people like crappy music. It's like, she's like, people like crappy music, and then she walks out of the kitchen. It was very funny, but so anyways, I love thought experiments like this. It's fun. The fact of the matter is, though, Led Zeppelin did exist, and I'm so glad that they did. But people are into dance music nowadays. That's kind of been a thing. People are into dancing to music forever. We only have to go back to big band music and or no, we can go back to the Renaissance, go back to the Baroque era when they used to write dance movements. People have been dancing to music forever since the beginning of time, right? And the difference is the dancing to quantized music, that's drum machines, things like that, is really a thing of pretty much since drum machines were invented. So if you think about a lot of the 80s music that had drum machines and things like that where you used a lot of MIDI and you had things that were quantized. And some great songs, great songs. And there's some great songs out today as well. But these are the things that Layla said, and I pretty much agree with her. I think everything, somebody wrote the minuet, which is exactly right. Like all the, gavat, minuet, I mean, all these things were types of dances. Waltzes have been around forever. So that's nothing new. Dance music is nothing new. But the things that Layla said that make the song different than what is out today are actually what makes it so unique and so great. Anyways, so like I said, discount code for today, Valentine's Day sale, RB214, that's Valentine's Day, 60% off my Beato book bundle, which is a 700-page PDF. It's got transcriptions in it. 40% off my Beato ear training, 40% off my Quick Lessons Pro guitar lesson course. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I never tell people to do that, but trying to get up to that 3 million mark here, and still got a couple 100,000 to go. So I'm hoping to get there by I don't know, May or June, something like that. But it should be this year. Anyways, you guys are the best. Thank you. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you. Thanks to all the super chats. Sorry I didn't get to them, but I'm going to go through and look at them, and thank you so much, everybody. Take care.